Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the agenda and council meeting on this date of November 6th. 6th. I knew I was right the first time. We welcome you all. Would you all please rise for the pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. God, I hate this. I know. We did it. Perfect. I'm sure.
We got to order new chairs.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Charles DePiero.
Here.
Councilman Michael Markell.
Here.
Councilwoman Rupa P. Siegel.
Here.
Let the record show that Council Vice President Terrence Van Zora is absent this evening. Council President Miriam Cohen.
Here. Would you please read the Sunshine Law into the record?
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, it is hereby announced and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting that adequate notice has been provided by the following. 1, posted on the bulletin board within the municipal building on December 29, 2023, and remains posted at that location for public inspection. 2, printed in the Home News Tribune and the Cranberry Press on December 29, 2023. 3, posted on the Monroe Township website. And 4, sent to those individuals who have requested personal notice. In accordance with Chapter 3, Section 17 of the Monroe Township Code, public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes unless further time is granted by the Council President.
Thank you. Only proclamation this evening is for Genevieve Spango in honor of her 100th birthday. Item 6, there are ordinances of second reading. Would the clerk please read the ordinance?
Ordinance 010-2024-024. Ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Code of the Township of Monroe, County of Middlesex, entitled Administration of Government, specifically Section 50, entitled Division of Police, and Chapter 79 of the Code of the Township of Monroe, entitled Police Department Rules and Regulations, specifically Section 79-90.1, entitled Specific Qualifications.
The ordinance for first reading.
Ordinance 011-2024-025. Ordinance authorizing the acceptance of one property on or approximate to Union Hill Road, known as Block 37, Lot 12, for the widening of the public right-of-way and the installation of various improvements.
Item 8 are the resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda at the November 6th meeting. Regular meeting, it's R11 2024-249 through R11 2024-273. I'm assuming all members of the council have read and reviewed the resolutions. Anyone need anything exempt from the consent agenda? Please so state. Item 9 is, we will open for public comments, limited to the agenda items only, please. May I have a motion to open the public comment section?
Motion.
May I have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Anyone wishing to address the council, please come forward, remembering that there is a 5-minute limit on your time. That kind of night.
George Kunkelman, 5 Killicourt, Monroe. In the consent agenda, the first item, 249, for the CFC/HCFC. I don't know what the acronyms stand for.
You wanted to
I believe it's
Carboflor. Okay.
no, it's hydrochlor. Someone want to help me with the official name? I'm sorry. It's the things inside refrigerators and air conditioning units.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's that special type
All
of
right.
chemical.
No, coolant. Coolant. Recovery. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Post-Freon.
Yes.
Okay. The other question I had was, I think also going over here, item 273, a resolution authorizing budget transfers. How big?
So I believe it's,
Alan,
What
please.
to what?
I believe it's 100 and, if I could, Council President, let me
Yes.
make sure this is not, I believe it's $140,000 in November and December, and in the first 3 months of the following year, we can move money around within our $73.6 million budget. So this is just moving around approximately $140,000, where we've used some and not used some to stay within our budget that we adopted.
Okay. What, coming out of what and going into
Sure.
what?
Yep, let me just-
If it can be done
Sure.
shortly.
Yep, I'll do it as quick as I can.
Okay.
You want me to do it at the end so I don't waste your time, or you want me to do it right now or at the end? when
Now
you're
or
done?
at the
Doesn't
end?
matter, we can
Okay,
do.
so 8,500 in public, this is transferring to 8,500 in public information salaries, 2,000 in the Division of Assessment salary and wages, 75,000 in streets and roads salary and wages, and 55,000 in buildings and grounds salary and wages. And we're transferring from 80,000 in recreation salary and wages and 60,000 in street lighting. So those are the transfers.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Anyone else wishing to address the council, please come forward now. Yes, please. State your name and address for the record, and the 5-minute time limit holds.
Good evening, Lucio Panos, 1208 C. Landera, Plaza Monroe. Ordinance 025, who are we accepting that property from? 255, the extension of the contract, is it at the same cost, an increase in cost? 262, please explain exactly the indemnity and trust agreement as best you can.
We can do that very well.
266. Well, yes, I'm so glad you're getting a hybrid. You know, that was very, it's about time. 271. How old are the old units that are being replaced? 272. What is the, the amount of $1,450,000 is noted. Is that what our portion of it, or is that what the county's grant is? And that's all.
Okay, Please-
Yeah, if I could,
please.
Mark, do you want to go with 025 first, and then I'll jump back in?
Certainly. Ordinance 025, that's a right-of-way dedication for the adjacent, from the adjacent property owner at, for the development of that site. So it's for right-of-way and road improvements that they are installing.
255 is at the same price. 262, so this is our annual 3-year contract that we can do with any JIF that's certified within the state. This covers liability, workers' comp, and a variety of other things. And so this is our 3-year agreement. We've been with Garden State Municipal Joint Insurance Fund. This would be the beginning of our third 3-year term in 2025 with them. And then 2066, as you mentioned, is a electric car. 271, this is moving to a 73%, 27%. I don't have it in front of me, but I can certainly get back to you on how old the rooftop unit is. The reason we're looking at it is because it's not energy efficient and it's significantly enough old to, to qualify for the program, because it'll be more energy efficient, but I don't have the exact date of when that rooftop unit was put in. And 272, the county is putting in 1.45 million, and the township would be putting in 1.5 million.
Okay, I know my time is up, but
Yes,
if
it
you
is.
indulge me. On 025, that's very nice of the resident to give that. They're just giving it. That's awesome.
Council President, that was a
Yes.
site plan development out on Union Hill Road.
Oh, okay.
And the developer was required to put in the road improvements and dedicate the right-of-way.
Okay, the developer. Okay, and on
We really are out of
262,
time.
will it increase the cost for the employees? On 262, the insurance?
So this is not a cost to the employees. This is about a $1.3 million we spend for the township to insure itself. So it's not like healthcare insurance. It's just our own insurance for liability, workers' comp, et cetera.
Is there anyone else wishing to come before the council at this time in the agenda session? Hearing and seeing none, I'd like to ask for motion to close public comments.
Motion.
Thank you. Second on that motion, please. Second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Motion to adjourn the agenda meeting, please.
Motion.
Thank you. A second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Meeting is adjourned. Like to call, the regular meeting is hereby called to order. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Thank you. A second on that.
Second.
Thanks. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve the payment of claims per the run date of October 31st, 2024, please?
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the following meeting as written and presented October 7th, 2024, the agenda and regular combined meeting? Motion, please.
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Ordinance for second reading, 010-2024-024. Ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Code of the Township of Monroe, County of Middlesex, entitled Administration of Government, specifically Section 50, entitled Division of Police, and Chapter 79 of the Code of the Township of Monroe, entitled Police Department Rules and Regulations, specifically Sections 79 through 90, entitled, 90.1, entitled Specific Qualifications. Parenthetic to the ordinance reading is an increase from 6 to 7 lieutenants and updating required qualifications for a captain and lieutenant. I'd like to open a public hearing. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Thank you. A second on that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anyone wishing to address the council on this matter, please come forward now. Seeing and hearing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Thank you. A second on that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 010-2024-024? Motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Ordinance for first reading, 011-2024-025. Ordinance authorizing the acceptance of one property on or approximate to Union Hill Road, known as Block 37, Lot 12, for the widening of the public right-of-way and the installation of various improvements. Motion, please.
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 6 is resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda, R11 2024-249 through R11 2024-273. Motion, please.
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We now move to reports. Mr. Weinberg?
Thank you, Council President. A few brief comments. One, I did want to highlight the Division of Community Affairs Best Practice Inventory. Once again, we far exceeded the requirement and continue to excel at this program. So I want to thank the CFO and Kevin for their help putting that together. I'm sure other people will, but let me be the first, since I'm the first person to get to speak tonight, to thank the clerk's office and all the township employees that helped make early voting and election day run professionally. Certainly not an easy task, long hours, and so hats off to them for always doing a great job on that. And finally, just was mentioned earlier, congratulate the mayor and council on the $1.45 million grant from the county, which is for the proposed indoor practice facility at James Monroe Park. Just wanted to highlight that as well. And that is my report, Council President.
Thank you. Mr. Razamowitz.
Thank you, Council President. Just a quick update on two projects. The Old Bridge Englishtown Road, Mounts Mills Road intersection improvements, and the Applegarth Road, Joan Warren Way intersection improvements. Both those traffic signals are operational and fully operating out there now. So use caution in the area with the new traffic patterns. Thank you.
Thank you. We have our council reports. I will begin with our first ward councilman, please.
Hello, everybody. I thought I left it on, sorry. I'm just going to hit on two things. One, I know Councilman Siegel always goes over most of this stuff, so I don't want to take her fire away from her. But I just want to mention that on the 10th, Sunday the 10th, there's a Veterans Day celebration at the Senior Center from 12 to 2, and it's very important that we honor our veterans. So last year it was wonderful, and this year it's going to be more wonderful. So I just wanted to announce that. And one other thing I wanted to comment on was the election yesterday. I just wanted to say that I hope that no matter which side of the aisle you're on, this is the United States of America. We have to accept the election, and we have to hope that all the candidates, whether they're red or blue or green or white or whatever they are, that they do the best job to service everybody in this country. It's very important, not themselves. We've got to remember that they're elected to serve everybody across the board, and I just wanted to put that on record today. So congratulations to all the candidates. As I said, whether they're Democrats, Republicans, Independents, I wish them a lot of luck, and I pray that they do the right thing for this country. Thanks.
Thank you. Our Ward 2 councilwoman, please.
Good evening. Thank you, Council President. Just a couple updates I want to share. We had a ribbon cutting ceremony for 3 new businesses in Monroe. Our own grocery store, our first South Asian grocery store in Monroe. Best Brains Learning Center, which is located in the Stop and Shop Shopping Center, offers enrichment programs for students and children. And Glow Medical Aesthetics is a medical spa and wellness center located off of Prospect Plains. So just want to welcome these new businesses and wish them all the best in their new businesses. October 28th was First Responders Day. So, in our community, I feel like First Responders Day is every day. So very appreciative of the hard work of our first responders, keeping our community members safe and well every day. And Oktoberfest, I wanted to just thank the rec center. I hope people got to enjoy it. What an amazing day it was. I know everyone works very hard on pulling that event together, but I think that was probably the most packed Oktoberfest I've seen, but it was a wonderful day. And I also want to mention we had our Township Diwali event at the Senior Center on October 27th, showcasing the culture and heritage of India. It was a day of cultural program which featured our Legend Singing Group, a local group here in Monroe, local talent, and also our high school South Asian Club did a dance performance. We had local vendors, exhibits, featured our local Indian restaurants here for food to purchase, and we ended our evening with a Diya lighting led by Mayor Delina. So I want to thank everyone for pulling this together. We have a wonderful Diwali committee that works year-round on building this event. It's comprised of many different organizations, South Asian organizations throughout the town. And I also want to thank Greg Slavicek and our DPW and all the other township administration and departments that really helped pull this event together because it's a true collaboration. And also, we were able to collect through our vendors and restaurants a $650 donation to the Betty Schneider Food Pantry from our vendors and restaurants. So I just wanted the community to know that as well. And as Councilman Markell alluded to earlier, we do have our Veterans Day celebrations, but we also have the Remembrance Ceremony on Monday morning. So I hope those can join us for that as well at 9 a.m. And I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you have some nice family time. Thank you.
Thank you. Ward 3 Councilman, Mr. DePiero.
Okay, thank you. Some of the things are going to be, they already said, as Alan got the first shot at everything about the election. I want to echo that. Also, as Councilman Markle said, it was very well said, and I want to second that. And your comment was, we're all in this together. We all work as a team. This mayor and council, I'm very proud to be part of, because whatever the problems are in our community or surrounding communities, we always put our best foot forward and we work together for the community. And that's what we need to go on from our country that we all love and we all appreciate. But it was good to see that 69% of the voters of Monroe turned out and came out and voted. And all the poll workers, DPW did a great job. I noticed the signs within 100 feet. They were out. Our clerk's office did an exceptional job, as always, with the early voting. We had over 11,000 early voting people come for the 9 days that we had, and they did an exceptional job. The county clerk's office and the board of election, everybody worked together to make this happen. And like Councilman Markle said, we want to congratulate the winners, but we also want to congratulate the ones that stepped forward, to go forward and try to make a better community for either state, federal, or local. We just want to say thank you and good luck to all of us, because we're all in this together. I wanted to also mention Veterans Day at Avenue K at 9 o'clock. That's always a big event that we have for our veterans, and we respect the families, and our mayor comes there and he always gives us a personal story that he has, and it helps. He speaks from the heart, and it's for our community, and it's something that you need to come and see and support our veterans. We should do that every day, but Veterans Day is an exceptional day that we will definitely do in respect to all our veterans and families. I had a question about Schoolhouse Road, railroad tracks. There's between the tracks, there's always blacktop that's blowing out, and you kind of, as you're going over the tracks, it takes your car and throws it to the left or to the right. So maybe we could get that patched before the winter comes. It would be beneficial for our drivers that go up and down Schoolhouse Road and our buses along the way. Last meeting, I brought up Monroe Park, Mounts Mill. We did some paving with, when we had Mayor Tamboro here, he decided to do some paving in the council. And I asked for what the reimbursement is for that developer. So I didn't get anything this month yet, but maybe we can get something on the dollar amount and with the builder or developers, whoever, if it was JSM or Lennar or whoever, the contractors, builders, if we can get some kind of dollar amount, because I think we're entitled to some money, and I'd like to see that come back to the taxpayers.
Mr. Weinberg,
I don't want to interrupt, Councilman. Maybe Mark could help answer that question, if you're okay with that?
Sure.
Okay. Sorry.
Council President, with regard to the paving of Mounts Mills Road, the builder was not obligated to do the paving full width. At the time, the mayor chose to do that paving because there was numerous complaints on the conditions of the road as it existed prior to even construction. But there's no obligation that I'm aware of that the developer is required to pave full width.
But when you say full width, that's from curb to curb, which there are no curbs out there. So, but they are responsible for their side of the road for off-site, correct?
Mr. President, again, we'll go back and look at it and see their obligations for the road widening and what they did or didn't do as part of what they were obligated to do. But the full width of the road was not their obligation.
Okay. But I'm sure that I'm sure they have an obligation, which we call off-site improvements, and I'm sure there's some kind of, we all know the intersection is their obligation, which haven't been done probably for the last 7 or 8 years. It's been sitting there a mess, the intersection of Spotswood, Englishtown, and Mounts Mill. What's County Road, and it's also a section is ours, but they're on the obligation for that. So just whatever we spent, I'd just like to see, the developer also give us a schedule on when he's going to finish that, because he's getting towards the end of the project with the C of Os and bonds and stuff like that. So that's why I'm asking those questions. But thank you, Mark, and thank you, Alan, for that. Street lighting, I brought that up in reference to a lot of lights are out throughout our community, and I know we pay the bill regardless if the lights are on or the lights are off. I got the bill list, and I see that JCP&L gets paid, based on the polls. So we still don't know how many are working or how many not working, correct?
Alan?
Council President, yes. So the police do a inventory sort of at our request, probably every 6 months or so, and we get those out to JCP&L. People call their own in. We submit some from time to time as well. They fix them. Sometimes they go out again, as I explained to you in our conversation. JCP&L, and I'll let the mayor add something if he wants, it has not been a very responsive, regulated agency in terms of doing a great job of fixing their lights in a very timely manner. It's a similar thing in all the towns around us that have JCP&L. Obviously, we've reached out to the BPU and to local legislators to try and encourage them to do more. Sometimes we hear from them that they are limited in their budget because the rates won't go up. And sometimes they say that the fixes to the streetlights are underground wires and a variety of other factors, but we continue to push them, and sometimes they do get fixed, and then unfortunately they go out again. So it's honestly been a multi-year effort to continue to push them to fix lights as they go out. Council President.
Right, and I'd just like to add to that, if you do report a light out, they ask you, how many times have you reported this issue, because they know they're having a problem. And I mentioned it to you before, Alan, and also to whoever, Kevin, and whoever the emails I sent. I like to send a letter as a councilman to BPU and also to JCP&L and everybody along with our senators and assembly that can help us try to get some answers. I mean, because maybe all the lights are going to go out to our town, and then we're really going to have a problem. To get their attention, but more and more lights go out than are getting fixed.
Happy to do that. Just to add one thing, Councilman, if I could. I know Mark was pushing hard to get those traffic lights going, and amongst many things, one of the things we heard from them, and I heard it from them when I was pushing a couple lights that residents have been pushing really hard, is that they had so many crews down in Florida in mutual aid from like 2 months ago that were still down in Florida cleaning up there, which is, the response that they gave us for some of the delays related to the traffic lights. Now, I don't do their scheduling, so I don't know how true that is, but that was the response they gave us, that many crews were down in Florida in the whole affected area from the 2 hurricanes.
Okay, thank you. Last meeting, we had some residents from Bentley Road, so I gave it some thought from last meeting to this meeting. Maybe a little bit of relief that we can do is possibly put a 4-ton limit on that street. And so they were talking about truck traffic coming off of 33 and going through there. Just show something positive for our residents. I know they asked for increased enforcement with our local police at the last meeting. I don't know if anybody's going to say anything from the public, or if they did say anything from the last meeting to now, to our administration, but I just thought maybe we take a look at that Bentley Road and try to help our residents. Meadowview building, is that all winterized and inspected because the winter's coming? Have we any inspections done on that building?
Yeah.
Council President, they've done it the previous, I believe, 1 or 2 years, so I expect that they're doing it again, but I'll have to reconfirm with DPW to make sure that they have.
Okay, thank you. 405 Spotswood Gravel Hill, known as Garvey's property. Center State did a good job getting the bid out and getting the work done. Took a little time, again, for PSC&G and JCP&L to do the disconnect for the building, but the contractor did a really good job, and I just wanted to say it came out. Whoever the contractor was, they did a good job, and they're there putting topsoil down, which is screened topsoil, and they're doing a real nice job. And I understand they found 2 oil tanks on the site. I sent an email. I'm sorry I sent it late today at around 2:30, but I sent an email in reference to those 2 oil tanks cost being a big concern, and also if it was a leaker, if it went to the DEP. I don't know if you have those answers, or can you answer those questions?
Sure, I think Kevin did respond, but I can have him reiterate his response here, but I did see his response. Mark, unless you wanted to answer it, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
I don't care.
yeah, I can take care
Right.
of it. It's fine. We're getting a proposal and a quote from our contractor on the site to remove the underground storage tanks. And it requires construction permits that are going to go through the construction department and get the approved contractor to remove the tanks and have whatever LSRP is required from the environmental end. As far as leaks, that'll be determined by that contractor at that time through the construction department.
Thank you. So the tanks will not get filled like with sand or foam, or they were going to be completely removed?
The tanks will be addressed. I don't know how the construction department will approve that at this point. We're just in the proposal process for a quote, and that we have not yet approved or received.
All right, and then the cost, I know we had a phase 1 done. I know we did the tank sweep. I'm not sure if we're going to get reimbursed from the contractor. I know one tank Kevin mentioned was underneath the building, so you can't find a tank under the building. And one was behind the building, but I don't know if there's any. That would be our legal department, I guess. They'll figure that out. As Kevin called me the other day. Thank you for that information. So we'll keep an eye on that and keep the public informed on that. Thank you. Out in front, MTUD did a patch on Schoolhouse in Prineville. It's still base coat. Can we? Winter time's coming. Can we get that milled and topped? It's right at the intersection, right out in front of the complex. Prospect Plains and Applegarth, the traffic light. Do we have any updates on where we're going with the county on that?
Council President, the latest I have from the county is that the plans, as I mentioned in previous meetings, were revised into a phase 1 and phase 2, where phase 1 would be the actual intersection improvements at Prospect Plains and Applegarth up to the railroad tracks on Prospect Plains, and phase 2 would be from the railroad tracks heading west to the municipal border. They had to split it up because of the easement requirements from the railroad were delayed. So in an effort to move the project along, the county chose to phase it, and that's at the state, waiting approval from the state. That's the last that I've received.
Okay, but we don't have a target date on when they're going to start that bidding or construction or completion?
I don't have any firm dates yet, and I know it was anticipated to be out to bid in the fall of this year, so around now, but again, at this point, it's still waiting for state to approve the phasing change.
Thank you. And I just wanted to say with the Oktoberfest, it was a beautiful day. We were waiting for that day. It was a spectacular day. It was probably record crowd. Thank Rec Department, DPW, our police, first responders, all the vendors. Everybody did an exceptional, fun day for our community. And I also attended 3 of those grand openings, as Councilwoman Siegel said. And if you just shop local, think shop local. It might cost you a couple more dollars to buy it, but it's going to save you money in fuel, and it's also in time. And it also it supports our local businesses. So just concentrate on keeping our local businesses going, and I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, safe and a healthy Thanksgiving. Thank you for the time.
You're most welcome. Before I ask our mayor to please speak with us, the council has particular relationship with the clerk's office. They're the people we go to when we need things and we need things done. So we're all always very proud of our clerk's office because they do their work and they do it well. And I think yesterday, as has been mentioned earlier, they worked an 18-hour day. That's part of their job responsibility. But I'm pretty sure they're very tired today. And so we are grateful for their hard work all the time. And well, I don't want to revisit the issue of streetlights because it's an issue all over town. Everyone should be aware that the mayor and some members of the council met with JCP&L officials and our state legislators in a meeting to get them moving on getting the lights fixed. I can put that term in quotes. So that is an ongoing effort for all of us. Why, and that might well end my sentence there, that it is an ongoing effort for all of us to have JCP&L respond in an appropriate and timely manner. Mr. Mayor, do you have any words you wish to share with us this evening, sir?
I do have words,
Oh,
but
good.
they are not my words.
Oh, okay.
Besides the ditto to the clerk's office for the election and ditto for the veterans events. I just wanted to make sure that was on the record. My words are actually the words of some second graders. 2 weeks ago, I went to Barclay Brooks School to speak to Ms. Corona's class of second graders to talk about what I like best about Monroe Township. I gave a list of about 7 things. They were mostly food places because I do like to eat. But the students were asked to create an opinion essay and do some research. So my friends, this is what they came up with. Alicia Gajour, the best place in town is the public library. The Monroe Library is the best place in town. Everyone must visit it. One reason you should visit it, because you can get to pick out American dolls if they have a library card. Another reason should visit the library is because you get to pick out board games and Tony boxes. You can also do pumpkin carving and LED lights and Halloween shadow and show parade. Lastly, you should visit it because you can pick out books that you like, and there are over 103,000 books there. In conclusion, everyone knows that the Monroe Library is the best place in town. Well-deserved applause. Ryan Mehta. Thompson Park is the best place in town. Everyone must visit it. One reason you should visit it is because there is a lot of playgrounds, courts, a pond, and a picnic area. There is something for everyone! Exclamation point. Did you know there are hiking trails? Another reason you should visit Thompson Park is because there is an easy access to Dunkin', Four Boys, Domino's, and Quick Check. They always say location, 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 right? Lastly, you should visit it because you can have lots of fun with your family and friends in Thompson Park. Thompson Park is family friendly. In conclusion, now everyone knows Thompson Park is the best place in Monroe. I hope you like it.
Thank you.
And lastly, Abby Patori. The Monroe Township Rec Center is the best place in town. Everyone must visit it. One reason you should visit it, because there is a roller rink. It's so fun to skate with your family. Another reason you should visit the rec center is because you can always go since it's open from 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Lastly, you should visit it because there are so many activities there, such as the Oktoberfest, Mayor's Delina's Wellness Program, and a beautiful family fun night. You must go! Exclamation point. You don't want to miss out on the activities. The rec center is the best. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you. We will now move to the public comment section. I'd like a motion to open public comments, please.
Motion.
Thank you. A second on
Second.
that. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone wishing to address the council, please remember that we abide by the following rules and regulations. 5 minutes per speaker. No extensions are planned. So please come, feel free. You give us your name and address for our record.
George
Sure, I'd
Gunkelman,
appreciate
5
it.
Kelly Court, Monroe. My question is about when are we going to start moving people into the veterans' low-income housing? Driving by, it appears to be approaching, if not at completion. I haven't heard anything, so I'm wondering what's happening.
Sure.
You have,
Would you like me to answer now, Council
Please
President? Mr. Morgan? Right, so the update on that is that they are getting close to 85 to 90% done. We don't expect it to open until until next year. I don't know whether that's going to be February or March at this point. We expect them to begin their marketing over the coming weeks, and that'll take place in December, I believe, January, February, and March. And some of this is timing for some long lead items like elevators and other things that they're waiting on in order to open the building. So there are, even though it looks done from the outside, there are still many things to complete inside by Conifer, which is the organization that'll be running and operating the housing as they do in other places across the state and the country.
Is there a date in our contract with them, or their contract with us, a completion date?
to
I-
my memory.
I don't believe there is a specific completion date within the contract. I'll have to check. Mark, I don't know if you know the answer to that.
I don't believe there is either.
Right. There's a requirement in our affordable housing settlement to eventually open the facility, and they want to open the facility because they can start collecting rents that are associated even with the affordable housing component. So they're eager to open it, and as soon as it's done, it will certainly be opened.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I want to revisit the streetlights. I think it's been said before, but I want to emphasize that any continuation of their current practice
It's unacceptable.
should be unacceptable, and not in terms of their lax approach, but they need to replace with LED. It's an industry standard. There isn't anybody that builds anything in our town, particularly commercial, that doesn't do it. I mean, everything that comes, that has a site plan that comes before the planning board is, if you look at the specs on the thing, is LED lighting. And the reason for that is it lasts so much longer. The real cost is not the light. The real cost is sending the truck and the man out there.
Correct.
And they know that. Why they're not doing it that way, I don't know. They give silly answers like it's subject to availability. Well, the rest of the commercial world has no problem with availability. I'm amused that JCP&L does. It's just a lousy excuse, and the BPU and our legislators should be all over them for it. I'm sure Wayne DeAngelo particularly, that's his ballpark, and someone needs to put spurs in them. It's just unacceptable that they do it the way they do. All this repeat stuff is a function of them doing it the same old way, and we deserve better. Everybody deserves better.
We do.
Do I have any time left?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. In the consent agenda, I didn't bring it up. There was, earlier, I forgot. The item 261, which is mechanic's truck, is that replacing an existing unit? It seems like a lot of overkill. In the construction world, we're very accustomed to these kind of vehicles, but that's for companies that work all over the state. Within the township, it would seem to be a bit of overkill when nothing is that far away from their shop, and to have a nearly 200,000 vehicle, time it's fully equipped, it's going to be over 200,000. This is empty number. So it just seems like, and the need for such an expensive vehicle, four-wheel drive, it's an exaggerated requirement for what we really have, and it just seems like, you know, on a larger scale of thing, it's chump change. I realize that, but you know, we need to review these things. Everything being a four-wheel drive and a dual cab and all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of overkill that we're buying, and you know, it's taxpayer dollars. And so I'm just saying someone should be asking the questions.
We certainly do, and I think it's a great point, if I could answer, Council
do.
President, if you don't mind.
Surely.
So obviously this is, because I asked the question too, $188,000, you know, why is this so essential? And I know that we have one from 2003 that's 21 years old. It's got, I think, over 100,000 miles, and it has probably picked up thousands of our vehicles over those 21 years when they break down, whether they be big trucks or little trucks. They're out there. We obviously have a mechanic program where we do a lot of stuff in-house. So I guess, you know, this is something we've always done. It allows us to respond in real time, particularly during snowstorms and other emergencies, to be able to go out and fix our trucks. The only other alternative, and we could certainly take more of a look at it next time, would be to spend more money to have other companies contract out every time something breaks down versus this truck being able to go out and manage our whole fleet, which is, I think, over 240 vehicles, and be able to bring it back to the station or fix it mobily with our mechanics. So it isn't something we've bought for 23 years, and according to our DPW director, because I asked the same thing, it's an invaluable resource for getting our equipment back on the road in real time, and it's cost effective versus having third parties constantly pick us up and fix stuff. It has on it a crane. It has a welding area, a auxiliary fuel for adding fuel in case, God forbid, something happens. Let's see, and I mentioned it also has mobile air on it and a crane in case a tire blows out. So it's been pretty effective for us in being responsive. But I appreciate the point of view.
Right.
Did ask those
You
questions.
described it as being in a recovery vehicle. It's not a recovery vehicle. That's not what it does. It's a mechanic's vehicle. The crane is for lifting parts and stuff like that. But it's not retrieving vehicles and bringing them back to the yard. That's not what it does.
We can fix them out there so we don't have to tow them back. I'm sorry, I don't want to get into too much of an argument.
Thank you.
Dr. Parab.
Prakash Parab, 33 Dana Drive. Respected President, Mayor, members of Council, and administration. Thank God the election is over, and wish and pray the democracy and republic prevails. And everyone, the voice of the people have been heard, and let the governance understand and move forward, okay? And that is the request. And let us be united in the United States and have a differences, but let us deal with it in communication, in friendly way and polite way. Okay, that's a request. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Delina and members of Planning Board for rejecting the warehouse application on Route 33. We residents are very delighted and we appreciate. Thank you for hosting Diwali celebration in Senior Center. We enjoyed it. Thank you, Mayor Rupa Siegel and the committee. I'm here to speak about current zoning and planning on Route 33 and its surrounding Monroe Township. I already spoke at zoning board meeting, and we will continue to talk about it. Highway development in Monroe Township, Route 33 has become highway and its surrounding destruction. In highway development, you should not have residential, warehouse, commercial mixed together. It's a destruction and bad planning. Highway development needs to be planned like Route 130 development by Cranberry Township and Plainsboro, where warehouses are in separate zoning far away from residential. Builders are taking advantage of this highway development definition by building high-density housing, commercial, warehouse next to state roads and destroying townships in New Jersey. This has to be stopped. We are losing farmlands, wetlands, open spaces in townships in New Jersey. Warehouses in or near residential will impact safety of residential using sidewalks, children standing for school bus, traffic jam, air and sound pollution, so forth. It goes on. Where the trucks will be parked when the warehouses are closed? Question. With loss of farmland, open lands, impact of flooding to residential. When it continues nowadays, sometime rains at rate of 3 inches per hour for several hours, flooding occurs. Rossmore is an example, and many we had surprises. So this has to be considered. I don't know the government laws, but flooding laws are, our state government is inputting, updating it, so that has to be followed and followed beyond that. What we request is separate zoning for warehouses on Route 33. The builders, this is their point, builders with their influence in Trenton will widen the Route 33 intersection and Applegarth Butcher Road so that application for warehouse can be granted. That is not acceptable to residents. So request is amend master plan and ordinances and have a separate zoning for warehouse on Route 33. Thank you. And apart from that, the TV bills are going up, and I tell you, we are getting a lot of spam calls. And, you know, I don't have statistics on burglaries and thefts in our township, whether they are increasing or decreasing. I know our police force is there all the time. We have put lights and, you know, cameras and all that, but whether it is helping or not, or whether we had to get more funding from the state and all, we are all together. So any comments on that is welcome.
Thank you. Your name and address, please, sir.
Last name Sada Mastula, SADAMASTULA. Address 283 Morning Glory Drive, Monroe. I just made some points, it's easier to talk. So first of all, appreciate Monroe Township Planning Board who unanimously rejected the North Disborough Hill warehouse plan application on November 24th. Appreciate that. I think the township should do more since we have the opportunity right now. My suggestion is to update the master plan for the Route 33 highway development, and if possible, pass an ordinance to change the zoning so that no warehouses are planned in the residential areas. Take Cranberry and Plainsboro as an example, where they have all commercial warehouses which is planned separately. No mixing of residence and commercial. We are not against warehouses. We are against warehouses in residential areas. So I don't know if it's possible. Don't know the township laws are, but if we can keep all the new warehouse applications on hold until the new zoning is approved for Route 33 highway development area, it will be helpful. So I would request the township should do something, because we have the option right now where the application has been rejected and we have time to amend our master plan and do anything with that. So any comment that will be helpful.
I don't know, Kevin, if you want to. Sure, you want that
Would you
thing?
care
or
to
this thing?
comment on that, please?
Oh, sorry. You want to take my seat? Or you
It was a little awkward, but my microphone wasn't working.
You-
Appreciate the comments, Council President. So I think the first step would be, and I'd mentioned this to a few other residents, you're certainly welcome, is to meet with me in the Planning and Zoning Office, and we can talk a little bit more about the master plan process and how that works and what the possibilities are for the future. Townships, including ours, don't want to change zones in haphazardly, right? We want to have careful studies. That's why most zoning changes happen subsequent to master plan reexaminations and long, careful study and community input. We don't want to be in a challenging situation where we're spot zoning a certain piece of property that, we don't want to do this in a way that would be unsuccessful and unhelpful.
I get that, but in the planning board, one of the members was saying that the township zoning hasn't changed. The residential community has changed so much drastically, not this row and the Butcher area, but he hasn't changed. So I think right now it's an opportunity for the township to update the master plan, and it should be done. I mean, I will come and meet you, but that's how I feel that
Just did our
it should
master
be done.
Yeah, and certainly, so townships certainly update their master plans periodically. We just did a master plan update. We did an 18-month process that culminated in 2022.
I was part of that, yeah.
Yeah, and happy to sit with you with that and maybe look at some of the other amendments that we've done over the last decade or two. And if there's an obviously we're always looking to the future for more of those opportunities, but we don't necessarily amend the master plan that regularly. But again, I think it'd be beneficial to have that conversation and talk about the process moving forward.
All right, okay. I have two more things that yeah. So the street light, I think I agree with the gentleman. I think even for my experience, calling and getting something fixed for my light in front of the road, I had to call like 3 times to JCPL, and then they come and fix it. Obviously, LED is the way to go. Right now, it just goes out dark for like 10 minutes. Not acceptable during the night time. One more comment I want to know on the Union Valley to Perinville, right? Like when we travel from Union Valley to Perinville, there's a single lane from Union Valley to Perinville on Stop and Shop, while there is a 2-lane from Perinville to Union Valley, which is going to the senior community. In the morning, right, what I have seen, like sometime when I try to drop right now, sometime I go to my daughter to the school, like drop her to the school, there's a lot of traffic at the Perinville post office. There's a lot of traffic there. So the 2-lane, I think, should be going to the school rather than coming back. I mean, I don't know if something can be done there, but it's going to be a lot of help because in the morning, that lane just backs up until Union Valley with like all the school buses. So it'll be helpful if township can do something about it. I'll try to follow up on that next time. Thank you so much.
Off. No mic skills. That we did a very widely based review of when we were working on the master plan, where we had at least three public meetings more than once. We had residents that were invited to come see plans and to make comments, and people also were participated in a survey. The decisions regarding that before it was brought to the planning board were not done lightly. Just that everyone knows it was a very thorough examination before it arrived there. Sir, you still have your same time. Your name and address for our records, please.
Thank you. My name is Anjan Karnati, 11 Preservation Drive, Monroe Township. Thank you, Council President and Councilman and Mayor and everybody, because I am talking about the master plan only here because of the warehouses mixing and with residential, right? Right now on third. Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay, so I'm talking about the master plan. The gentleman just now previously asked about the master plan questions, and why are we mixing and warehouses near residences and commercial and everything? Why don't we change the master plan? I know it is changed little while ago, maybe 2 years, right? 2 years ago, master plan has been changed. Can we do the amendment or not, according to the public opinion? Is it possible?
I would, if I could just add that, because I think it's a good question, and sometimes there's information. In terms of residential, and this is a little bit complicated, but in terms of residential being next to what's called highway development, which can be both commercial and warehouses along the 33 corridor and in other places in the town, as you may be aware, both in round 2 and in round 3 of affordable housing, the court intervened to force residential housing in areas that was previously highway development. So the areas where this housing was previously highway development, and the court, people came into court and became what's called interveners, which means they raised their hand to the court and said, I have highway development property, but if you let me build residential on it, I can help the town meet its affordable housing requirement. So part of this challenge is the court coming in to override our zoning in certain areas, and we could talk more specifically about this if you want after the meeting,
Okay.
and creating, residential areas, which people absolutely have the right to live in and enjoy and love. The other challenge at the master plan was probably, because I went to every one of the meetings, and I think the council heard this as well, is literally the biggest message we got at the master plan that I heard was less residential development, particularly for school-age children, because it's costly for the community, and there's been a lot of that. So we had a situation where things were highway development and other things were put in next to them, and at the same time the pressure of not turning more things into designating it housing, which is the alternative to development in terms of highway development, which can be commercial or warehouse. The township, and no township in the entire state, can start pointing to land and say it can't be developed because that becomes what's called a taking, and you could be spending tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. I just wanted to provide a little bit of background. Happy to talk after the meeting, but with those two choices, that's sort of how it went through the master plan.
Yes, thank you.
The reason I am asking this question, and if you permit me, because you remember this warehouse application has been denied by the mayor and council, and because of this warehouse, because we worked almost 2,000 families. Each family has up to 3 people, approximately 6,000 people or 8,000 people spend a lot of time protesting and stopping, and you can count the number of hours each family, maybe 10,000, 20,000 hours. So we spend a lot of time to protect our neighborhood, not building the warehouse in front of the residential area like that. Because public is coming, and why don't we council can and work with the planning board, which is more convenient, more really helpful for the public, instead of public is coming and forward and protesting to stop the warehouse, and application has been denied. That is, thank you so much. And however, is there any other chance builder can build still?
I mean, I'll defer to Mark. I can't tell you what a developer can do. It's still zoned, highway development. It hasn't been memorialized yet. There's a variety of options. I was just trying to explain how we got to where we are,
Right.
and the two competing pressures of the court stepping in to create housing, and the majority of the residents in the town not wanting more housing above that which was required by the court.
Yeah, I understand that, but to satisfy the public and Monroe residents, application has been denied. Builder has the right to go to somewhere else and get the permission from the court or that. Still, are we they can override us?
I mean, I don't know what, Mark can jump in. Anyone can always contest something, so I don't want to, certainly they could, but I don't know
Because after
what they'll do.
spending 20,000 of hours from each, all the families, and we came up to this stage. We don't want to go back again,
No,
That's-
I understand. I'm just was pointing out the housing versus warehouse option.
Do you have anything to add
I
to this?
I mean, other than, we haven't gotten word yet what the developer is doing, whether he's going to appeal. It hasn't been memorialized yet, but the application was denied. I mean, certainly whatever's permitted in the HD zone is still permitted. So I'm not sure what exactly your question is.
The question is because even though we stopped
No.
that application,
His time is up.
sorry.
There are other people that want to speak to us.
Okay.
You can certainly chat after the meeting with everyone before it ends.
Thank you.
This is also somewhat outside. Anyone else wishing to address us on this issue, please come forward now, or on other issues that were on the agenda. Sir, please. Your name and address for our records, and again, there is a time limit of 5 minutes.
I'll not even take 5 minutes.
Oh, good.
My name is Anil Sarsam, 18 Lenmore Court, Monroe Township, New Jersey. Hi, my name is Anil Sarsam, and I have been a resident of Monroe for the past 10 years. Monroe residents appreciate the growth that brings jobs and tax revenue to benefit our community. But such development must align with the town's needs, prioritize safety and quality of life. I commend the board for denying the application for the warehouse. At the same time, I question the role of the Township Planning Board and the leaders of our community. There seems to be a lack of foresight and vision in their approach to managing Monroe's growth. The overdevelopment of residential areas has already created overcrowded schools, negatively impacting the quality of education for the past 8 years. Now, we are facing yet another situation where such decisions are being made without considering the long-term quality of life for residents. With the latest expertise available, it is reasonable to ask this leadership or the board to revisit and update the master plan to reflect the current situation. Inaction is not an option. I am confident we can all work together to find suitable locations for warehouses, as Monroe has ample land for development. Thank you for the opportunity to express my concerns.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else wishing to address us? Seeing and hearing none, I'm going to entertain a motion to close the public comment section, please. May I have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? No. I'm going to entertain a motion for adjournment, please.
Motion.
Thank you. Second. Thank you so much. We are adjourned at
7:35.
Thank you all. Have a happy Thanksgiving.